Welcome back to Just Got Brady on BJPenn.com. I'm your host, Cole Shelton. We got a good lineup here ahead of UFC Vegas 76, which goes down on July 1st, first Canada Day for all my fellow Canadians. So first up, we're going to join by Max Griffin to preview his fight against Michael Morales. Max was very fired up about this. He doesn't like this fight. Felt kind of disrespected. He was having to fight this young up-and-comer he thought he deserved, fighting these more known guys, obviously coming off the win over Tim Means. Before that, a split to Neil Magny, which Dana White told him after the fight they thought he won. He got paid his win bonus, beat Carlos Condit. So we thought like he kind of deserved a more well-known guy. So he was very fired up, and he thinks he's really going to expose Michael here. We're then going to be joined by Grant Dawson to preview his fight against Damir Ismagulov. Really good chat with Grant, who's had a very hard time getting a fight. He said a lot of opponents have turned him down. He said no to one fight because it was a week notice just after he missed weight, so he didn't want to have to miss weight in back-to-back fights, but he's really looking forward to this match against Damir. He knows Damir's a tough out. He thinks a win here can really put him into that top 10 lightweight division, really send some messages to the division. And then we close things out talking to Blagoy Ivanov to preview his fight against Alexander Romanov. Good chat with Blagoy. Not a man of many words, but the big one is he left AKA. He said with just DC retiring, Kane kind of in and out due to the jail, there's not a lot of heavyweights, so he had to get some different bodies, but he really likes this match against Romanov. He thinks Romanov's going to be McDonald's fat, is something he said, and just like he thinks he's going to be out of shape, and something he thinks he's going to get a finish in that second or third round once Romanov gasses. But be sure to share the show, subscribe, and tune in next week for another episode of Just Scrap Brady ahead of a very solid UFC 290 card. All right, we're jumping UFC welterweight Max Griffin, who's back in action on July 1st. Max, how's it going, man?
I'm good, bro. I'm good.
I was surprised we haven't talked a lot sooner. Like, I thought you were going to get a fight a lot sooner. Like, were you surprised by how long of a layoff this has been for you?
Yeah, man. They told me I was going to fight in March. So April, May, June, July. So it's been quite a while. I've been ready for a long time. I've been at the edge of my seat for months. I mean, it's like every week, and every week, and then we finally got it. And it was far out, which is fine. I just got more time. But what can I do?
And then at the Apex again, too. How disappointing was that for you?
Man, it was like wah at first. No, honestly, at first it was just like the first fight I got. My first reaction, and even the opponent, I was just like, "What the hell?" But it's time to make a statement again. Time to bury another prospect in my Apex. Like my backyard.
With Michael Morales, like, how familiar were you with him when you got offered him?
I've seen, I think, one fight he did. I remember seeing like one of his fights. He's all right. He's young. Young prospect. They like him. I've noticed when I've been seeing the trend of the old guys versus the new guys. They even did it on the Ultimate Fighter with the vets and the rookies, and I just been seeing that trend. But I'm not the one, man. I'm not. I'm getting older, but I'm not. I'm not a stepping stone. I always felt disrespected by getting Michael Morales because they like him. So they think he can beat me, but he can't, and I'm gonna prove it.
Yeah, when I saw this fight get made, like, I don't know if you agree, but I kind of thought the UFC wants him to beat you, and like kind of because you're the kind of the biggest name he's fought. Like, people know who you are. Like, you fought Tim, you fought Neil, like you fought Carlos Condit, like you fought a lot of these guys. Like, to me, that's kind of how I viewed it, and I thought it was quite odd because I thought they were finally giving you that push that you deserved.
Yeah. So this is gonna be one of those ones where I school him. He's good, but he hasn't fought anyone. Majority of his fights for little Mexican dudes with t-shirts on. He hasn't beaten anybody and doesn't have any experience. He's beat Trevor Giles and Adam Fugit, but they're nothing to shake a stick at. And they made big mistakes. So I mean, he is young. He's undefeated. He's from Ecuador, Mexico, or whatever. But I'm gonna drown this guy, bury him. Teach them a lesson. It's more like to the UFC too. Like, don't give me no fucking guy like this. You know, I feel disrespected. So I have a chip on my shoulder, like a bag of chips. I'm gonna break this guy, put him out, and show him he's good, but he's raw. Like he makes a lot of mistakes. He's real hittable. He fights super cocky. I don't like him. You know, and
And
really
then,
the last guy I fought like this was Ramirez.
mhm.
He's brought him out. He was 8-0. They had a story on his medical condition or whatever, and he was all 8 wins, and he's supposed to go in there and beat me at the Apex, and there's all this hype on him, and I took his ear off. So for me, it's like I like when they treat me like this, you know.
And then I saw the betting odds, and like you were a pretty big underdog too, which kind of surprised me.
I don't know who these people are, man. I don't know who these people think I am. Who they seen beat me. Like I've only really been beat by freaking Colby Covington. All my other fights are split decision losses. Haven't been finished, like I said, except by Colby, but that was TKO and just punches. Not I wasn't knocked out. And this guy knocks everybody else. I don't know what they're seeing. I don't know where this guy is better than me at. I don't know where he beats me. He's younger, but that's it. Like I have way more experience. Um, dude, grappling, wrestling, striking, timing. Like I don't get it. So I'm gonna show them show them what it's really like. I'm gonna talk on the mic and drop that motherfucker.
Yeah, and with like Michael, like Trevin Giles had a lot of success in that before he got caught in that first round, and like that was his first fight, I think, at welterweight, and like I think he had Michael hurt at one point, or he was like controlling him on the ground, and then like
Yeah,
Adam,
for a very beginning.
yeah, and then Adam Fugit, I think, took that fight on like a week or two notice and took it into the third round. So like, what have you kind of made of his run so far in the UFC? Like 2-0, 2 knockouts, but then you kind of like dig a bit deeper, and it might not be as impressive as people think.
Yeah, people. Yeah, I don't know what they're seeing. I think it's hope. I've seen. I've had other people watch the fights, and they're trying to figure out like what they're seeing. They're trying to figure it out, and they don't know. It's a mystery. It's a mystery to a lot of people. They're just hoping he wins, you know. But I'm not the guy. I'm not these guys that are going out. I'm not, Cerrone. That's 5 fights too deep, and I'm not retiring anytime soon. I'm getting better every fight. I'm not getting mad. I beat Tim Means with one hand in the co-main event last fucking end of October last year. Look at this. So for me, I'm gonna take it out on him. I'm gonna take it out on him. I'm gonna prove to everyone. I'm gonna hurt him. I'm gonna hurt him. And I said I want him to remember what happens. But if he gets knocked out cold, then at least he'll see the video. So there's that. But I want him to pay for this. I want him to get the brunt of my wrath for this booking.
Was there any thought of like just saying no to this fight then if you felt so disrespected, or is it just because you need one to fight and like you think it's a good match that you took it?
I don't turn down fights. Yeah, I don't turn down fights. I mean, yeah, I don't turn down a fight, but this is the closest fight I was turned down. You know, I don't turn down fights, but I was so perplexed, like what the shit. And then they talk me, my coaches, and manager talk to me, and they like this guy. Take his hype, but they're saying like trend now. They like these new guys, like Dave Griffin. They gave like Ian Gary's been on the come up, and a lot of these younger guys that they're just trying to pump. Far too many fighters on Contender, and now they're just overloaded. And especially with all these fights, they're having fights every week. Half the fights, you don't know who any of the people in the card is. I do picks, and I don't know. I'm looking at these fights like, who are these fighters? So I think it's a mix of the new wave. I think it's just trying to save money. It's cost savings. The young guys are cheaper. I think, but I'm not the guy. I'm not the guy. I'm gonna prove a point. They like these young guys, so why not bury them, finish them, statement them, and look at them like I'm not the guy. Like I'm gonna be here for a lot longer time. Like retirement for me is not even in my view. Like I'm gonna be here a lot longer, and I'm getting better. So for them to disrespect me and put this new guy on me like he has a chance against me, I cannot wait. You know what? I can wait, but I'm gonna get him. It's gonna be a master class. To me, mentally, it's like a student versus like a teacher, like a schooling. Like he physically doesn't have the experience, and it's not all about experience, but a lot of time it is. I remember being newer. I remember back in the day when I first came in and how raw I was. And some guys pick it up sooner, but he hasn't figured it out. He's beating these guys, but these guys were so sloppy when he beat them, overextending like crazy, like big whiff punches, oh, getting clipped, and then he'll swarm you. I'll give him that. He has a good swarm. But the damage he's doing is a guy throwing a sloppy ass haymaker. But he's getting hit. This guy gets hit with every fucking punch. Like I can't wait. I can't wait to show them because I saw the odds. I'm like, excuse me? Put some respect on my name. And if they're not going to do it, I'll do it myself.
How do you kind of see it playing out? Like you've said a bunch, you think you're just gonna masterclass them? Like it could be finished. Like would you rather this like be like a quick, easy like first knock? Would you rather just like bring this into the second, third round and like really show like there was no lucky shot? Like there is like a big difference between your guys' skills.
Personally, I'd rather beat the fuck out of them for 14 minutes and 50 seconds and then sub them with 5 seconds left. Like I want to prove, but I have a feeling that he's just gonna go out earlier than that. Like that's what I want him to remember. I want him to be in there, like getting mounted, getting pounded, being busted up. Like shit, this is not what I thought it was gonna be. I should have took this fight. I want that to be running through his mind. That's what
you go out there and finish him. Like, what do you think a win here does for you? Like, you're kind of right near that top 15 all the time. Like, you kind of derail his hype a bit. Like, I feel like they have to give you a push if you beat him.
Maybe, maybe, man. I want to fight another young guy. I'm like, not giving. I don't know, man. Honestly, I've been on a streak. That Neil Magny bullshit was trash. They paid me for the win money. They paid me for the win, so that's 5 straight. There's gonna be no one left. Like I've called all the guys out in the top 15. Probably another young guy since they like these young guys. If there's any other hot prospects that they like, because it's gonna be a trend of me taking these clowns out.
What do you think of like how the UFC's been doing it? Like they're giving like Shavkat that big push. They're giving Ian Gary this big push. Like it kind of seems like they're ready to get rid of those kind of like old wave in that top 5, top 10.
No, that's how I feel. I see it. I'm from. I have a corporate America background. Like I see this shit, man. I see it coming. I've seen this shit for months. But I'm not the guy. They need to take me off that list. Yeah, take me off that list. These older stepping stone kind of guys. I'm 37, but I'm young. I'm young in my mind and young in my body. I have a lot of experience. I'm not like these other guys that are that old. I mean, there's people retiring at 32, 35. Like it's not even in my thing. I mean, Glover was doing his thing. Just shout out to Jim Miller. Jim Miller's been putting these fucking youngsters down, which I appreciate. I appreciate that. Shout out to Jim Miller. But yeah, I've been here for too long, man. I fought some of the best guys ever. So for them to give me this guy, I'm just like, I'll show you. I'll show you. You want to give me a guy like this? I'll tell you what happened to him.
say you do get past him, like what is the goal then for the rest of the year? Like I imagine you at least want to fight at least one more time after not getting your first
I
fight till
want to fight
July.
again. Yeah, I don't want to be pushed out. I want to come out undamaged. And I damaged myself. No one's damaging me. I'm hurting my own hands, hurting my own wrists, hurting my own legs. So I go out clean, and I'm a lot more precise now. When I'm throwing my shots, it's I because when I first had my hand surgery, when I got back, I couldn't just smash. I had to be kind of lighter with the punches. So I got a lot more precision, like more like a surgeon with a scalpel, versus like a bat. Now it's precision. Saving my hands, saving my legs. A lot more head kicks, body kicks. Just a lot more softer targeting. Jaws versus Tim Means hard ass freaking forehead, or Tim Means hard ass face, dude. Yeah, like it's just bone. So come out unscathed and get another fight. Give me another fight this year. I don't want to wait 9 months. I'm not having a baby, you know.
Mm. Just final thing is just on the welterweight division. Like, what are you kind of thoughts? Like, obviously Leon's the champ. Like, it's Colby, a guy you fought, kind of seems next in line. And there's Bilal. Like, if you were kind of the matchmaker, like, how would you kind of go about getting that top 5 done? Like, do you think Colby should get the shot, or do you think it should go to Bilal?
I mean, did more. Bilal did more per se, nine in a row or whatnot. But the draw's not there. It's politics. The draw's not there. I think it is. It depends. I mean, he has a lot of what's it not out there, Middle Eastern fans and shit.
Mm-hmm.
He has a lot of them. There's a lot of them, and he has a lot of fans. But and I guess he is embracing that bad boy role. He's doing the kind of the Kobe things, talking shit to the people in New Jersey and that. But I mean, the UFC wants to see Colby. The UFC wants to see Colby. Colby and Leon. Leon will beat, or I think Colby will beat Leon, and then maybe do Bilal and Colby. I don't know what's up with Usman. I don't know where he fits in here right now. Wanted what do you want? He wanted someone. Is he getting Shafkat? No, that was a rumor.
Yeah,
I don't think they want that for. I don't.
He's just in like such a weird spot. He's been like, I don't like, because I feel like he wants to be smart with who he fights, but the UFC wants to give him like Shafkat or Hamzat, who I think probably beat him, so they can get those guys a title shot. And like, I don't know, he's just in an odd spot. But like, top of the welterweight division's like really interesting for like once for the past couple of years. Like, it's been just kind of the same guys fighting. Now it kind of seems like a lot of these new guys are finally getting there.
Yeah, they're trying to get people in there. They even got Phil Rowe versus Neil Magny, this week.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to get these new guys in, which I get it, but take me off that list, because I'm not for the shit. Yeah, I'm not with it.
Well, Max, I appreciate the time as always. Thanks so much for doing this.
No, thank you, Cole.
Yep.
Appreciate you.
5 rounds.
All right, we're jumping UFC lightweight Grant Dawson, who's finally back in action. Grant, how's it going, man?
It's going, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. Like, last fight, early November, you beat Mark Madsen. Like, did you ever think it would be this long, like July 1st, that you're finally getting your next fight?
Yes.
And when I talked to your manager, because I was asking him about you, he said you had a hard time getting fights because, like, you obviously don't have that big name yet, and you're a risky fight. So a lot of these guys higher up than you don't want to fight you. Like, how kind of frustrating has that been, where you are having this difficulty getting these fights?
Man, it's super frustrating. My UFC debut, I fought like 2 months after that fight, and that was the quickest turnaround I've ever had in the UFC. It's just been 9-month layoff after 9-month layoff. The last time I fought, I wasn't a married man. That's how long it's been.
And even though you are in the rankings, like, did you think like once you got in the rankings, like people would start taking fights with you now that you have a number beside your name?
Yeah, I think I think part of it is matchup wise. Like the UFC is like, yeah, we could probably find some bum to fight him, but we don't want to just see him, tear through somebody else. We want to test this kid, and we want to see if he is championship material, like he says he is. Enter in Demir. I think anybody that can beat Demir is championship material. So that's kind of what I'm thinking going into this fight is I gotta not just beat this guy, but I gotta show people that I am championship material.
Were you surprised it was Demir then for your return fight?
No, not really. I mean, I heard some rumblings that he was trying to retire. I heard that he was trying to go to a different organization. I just kind of don't really know what it's more of I don't really care. It's a me thing. I figured it's not going to be Moicano because he's my teammate. It's not going to be Moises because he's my teammate. Probably not Gamrot or Poirier because they're my teammates. So it kind of makes sense that it's like, okay, Demir is kind of in that list. Hooker and Turner are booked. Yeah. And then Dober and Favola just fought. So it was kind of like that situation where process of elimination, it's probably going to be Demir.
What have you made of his UFC run? Like 5-1, like his one loss is to Arman, who I think's like in a similar spot where he should be fighting these top 5 guys, but just isn't. So like, what have you made of his UFC run so far?
It's super impressive, man. My only critique on him would be that like he doesn't have a whole lot of finishes, and I don't think he has any finishes, and I think that's why he's unhappy with where he's at. I don't know this. I'm just guessing that he's not making the money that he thinks he should be making. He's fought a lot of really good guys. He fought Thiago Moises, Joel Alvarez. Dude, the list goes on. Everybody he's fought in the UFC has been really, really good. And so far he's beaten all of them except Arman. So I'm super impressed with his skills. I'm super impressed with everything that he's put forward. But that's the type of test that I'm looking for.
Obviously, you did fight Thiago, and I know you two are very close. Like that was 2019, so it was a bit ago. Like, do you talk to Thiago a lot about that fight, or do you think because it was like a bit ago, it doesn't have much relevance?
This fight's a little bit different, man. I've gone with Demir. I've rolled with Demir. I've sparred Demir. Like I'm very familiar with Demir and his game, and he's familiar with mine. So there wasn't a whole lot of like conversation with the coaches. There wasn't a whole lot of like, can we find people that have trained with him to find holes in his game? Like I think this is a pretty cookie cutter fight. Like I know exactly what he's going to do, and I think he knows exactly what I'm going to do. So it's pretty much just who's better at their game.
How long ago did you guys train with? Did he go to ATT?
He went to ATT for his fight with Arman.
Oh yeah, I don't even remember that then. So I guess you did get a bit of work with him then.
He was only there for like 3 weeks. He actually came for his fight with Garam.
Yep.
And I rolled a bunch. I didn't spar him for Garam because I'm a grappler and Garam's the striker. But I rolled with him a bunch for that fight. And then he came for Arman, and I went with him a bit more. I think we only sparred once, one 3-rounder. So, and it was big gloves, so not a whole lot of information that you can get from that. But still, the point that I'm trying to make is I don't think there's any secrets in this fight. I think we both know what the other person is going to try to do.
Do you like just kind of mention there, like the big gloves and everything? Like, do you take anything away from the training? Like, oh, I saw this, or is it just because it is training? Like, you guys aren't going full out. Like, is there stuff you can take away from that training session, or is it just more like you just kind of felt the strength, kind of know that?
Man, I think it's just having somebody in front of you. I think the biggest fear in fighting is the unknown. Like, you go in there and you're just like, man, can I hit this dude? Like, if he hits me, am I going to go down? Like, there's just so much unknown going into a fight. And there still is. There absolutely still is. I don't talk about who wins in the training room. I'm not giving away any secrets or anything like that. But no matter who won it's different in a fight. Like, we go from trying not to hurt each other to the only thing we're trying to do is hurt each other. So, I don't take it's just, I've had the dude in front of me before. And I'm not used to that. I'm not used to fighting somebody that I've gone with before. So that was nice.
And then back at the Apex too, like I was trying to even remember your last fight that wasn't at the Apex. Like
2019.
How frustrating is that then that you're still fighting there?
Man, it's super frustrating. it's not. I like fighting in the Apex. I really do. I just wish that I could get my mom and dad some tickets because they haven't seen me fight since my UFC debut. They haven't seen me fight live since my UFC debut, and they really, really wanted to go to this one. And I'm the co-main event, fighting the number 12 dude in the world. I just was really hoping that I'd be able to get some tickets for my mom and dad and my wife, but it is what it is.
With this one, like, how do you see it playing out? Like, Demir is a very durable guy. Like, Armin couldn't finish him. Like, he grinds stuff out. Like, I know you're always going for the finish. Like, how do you see it playing out?
Man, it's going to be tough to finish this guy. I think that he's 24-2 for a reason. He's fought really stiff competition. I'm just excited for the test, man. I'm excited to show that, like, he's a championship level fighter. He's a guy that you could put in there with Islam Makhachev. Is he going to beat Islam? Probably not. But he ain't going to get run through like everybody else that Islam's gone through. So it's one of those things where a good performance is the only thing that I don't care about a finish. I don't care about 50 Gs. I don't care about fight of the night. I just care about a win and a really good performance.
And yeah, because I think where you are this career, like, wins are kind of all that matters for you. Like, so he is 12th. Like, where do you think a win puts you? Like, do you still think even if you beat Demir, like, you're still going to have this problem getting opponents?
Well, yeah, probably. I think the more people you beat, I think it's just going to be harder as you go. But I do think that the division is opening up a bit because you got Dustin. So you just had Oliveira and Beneil fight. So Beneil's wide open, I think, and Beneil will fight anybody. So Beneil's wide open. You got Gaethje and Dustin next. The winner probably gets a title shot, and the loser is going to be, he's got to fight somebody, and they're not just going to throw him in there with a big fight. I think Dustin will win that fight. So, Gaethje's another good option. I think the division's finally starting to clear up where the top 5 guys aren't just going to fight each other back to back to back to back to back to back to back again.
Yeah, I actually think, like, we're doing this, 2 days or 3 days before the fight this weekend. Like, I think if Armin wins, like, I think that's the guy Beneil will probably fight just because I think Armin deserves a top 5 guy. But, like, other than that, like, Fiziev kind of needs a guy. Like, there's tons of, and then obviously Jalen and Dan are fighting, so, like, maybe the winner of that makes sense. So I guess it is, the lightweight division is finally moving, which for years, like, those guys were only just fighting each other and no one wanted to fight back.
Yeah, it was one of those situations that I hate seeing where you have to put 2 top contenders like Armin and Gamrot against each other because none of the vets want to fight them, And then you have look, I understand the business. I get it. I just wish Conor would go the hell away. Like, I just wish he would disappear because that man is undefeated for holding up a division because now you got Chandler, who's probably not going to fight until next December because Conor's not even in the testing pool yet. So there's another guy that's in the top 5 that we can't fight. Then you got RDA, who's for some reason still in the top 10. Skill-wise, he is a top 5 fighter, 100%, but he doesn't fight in our weight class. Like, get him out of there. Get Favola in there. Get Dober back in the rankings. Bring Moises into the rankings. Like, let's mix it up a bit, guys.
And then with training with so many guys at ATT, like, how has that made it more difficult than, like, trying to get fights? Like, because obviously Gamrot, Moises, like, Poirier, where, like, when you're at Glory, like, you didn't really have to worry about that.
Yeah, definitely. But, what am I trying to say? You can't have everything.
Yeah.
You can't be at the best gym in the world fighting with the best training partners in the world and not run into something like this, man. There was one day we were doing a group of 5 and it was me, Gamrot, Moicano, Nathan Schulte, and there was one more top 15, Neto maybe. And we're all just like, where else do you find a room where it's that many top 15 guys? Oh no, it was Dustin. Dustin was in there. Like, where do you find that many guys in the same group? Like, you see what I'm saying? You can't pass that up.
And something else that when we talked about when you made that move was obviously the weather, because you were getting sick a lot in Kansas City, like, along with just the amount of coaches and guys you're working with. Like, how much has that weather and not having to fight through all these cold helped you?
Oh, it's been great, man. And the sun is shining right now. As soon as this interview's over, I'm going to smash this food and then go out and get some sunlight. It's absolutely great.
Just a couple more things, like, fighting July 1st, like you get past Amir, like when is kind of that time frame for you to return then?
Another 9 months, probably.
You think so? You think it's probably gonna be that?
Yep.
Do you then think of like maybe just how to start fighting these unranked guys then just to like get active or
Not about that. I have not said no to a fight. I've said no to one fight in my entire career, and that was because it was on a week's notice, and I just missed weight my last fight because I took that on short notice. So it was like, no, dude, I'm not going to embarrass the UFC. I'm not going to embarrass myself like that by missing weight again. You know, I'm down. I don't care who. It's not like they're like, hey, we have 17 unranked guys that want to fight you.
yeah.
And I don't want to fight that. I'll fight. I'll fight Jamie Malarkey. I'll fight whoever. Just put him in front of me. It doesn't have to make sense to me. I don't care. I get paid the same, and my stock goes up after every win. So I don't really give a shit. But it's not going to happen. The top level guys are going to want to jerk each other off for another, year. And then the lower level guys, I'm going to end up fighting some dude that nobody knows, that nobody wants to fight.
And probably a riskier fight because they're that good. No one really knows who they are.
Yeah. It's what it is, man. They'll probably bench me for another 6 months to a year, and then we'll be having this conversation again next time.
Just final thing, like, do you think because of that, like, do you think you have to maybe call out these guys and like after a win and like get on the mic and like make it clear you want next, try to get it? Or do you think even if you do that,
Doesn't matter. I've called out Tony. I've called out Dan Hooker. I've called out Jalen Turner. I've called out Matt Favola. I've called out people that aren't even in my weight class. It doesn't matter, man. Nobody cares. Nobody cares what you say. Nobody cares what you do. You just got to win fights.
Well, Grant, I appreciate the time as always. Thank you so much for doing this, and go enjoy the Florida sun.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate it.
All right, we're joined by UFC heavyweight Blagoy Ivanov, who's back in action on July 1st. Blagoy, how's it going, man?
Good, man. Thank you.
Obviously, fought in February, like a close fight against Tybura. What do you take away from that fight?
Yeah, it was a close fight. I made a mistake the last round, and I think this was cost me the win.
Fighting again so soon, like just 5 months later, I know, like, how happy are you with that? Because for a while, like, you were having a hard time getting a fight.
Yeah, I'm happy. I just did like good camp, and right now I'm ready to fight.
With Alexander Romanov, like, how familiar are you with him?
Yeah, I watch his fights. I watched him before, and yeah, he's a good wrestler.
What have you kind of made of his past 2 fights? Because that's kind of what everyone's been talking about. Because obviously with Tybura and Volkov, like, he seemed to add a lot of weight, and like he obviously lost both those ones, and like Volkov, he quickly got finished in that one.
Yeah, he was. With Volkov, he looks like he was out of shape, but I don't know. Maybe now he's better. Yeah, and he gave up with Volkov.
Do you expect him to like get back in shape like he was when he was undefeated, or do you think he'll still be what he was when he fought Tybura and Volkov?
I don't know. Hopefully, I don't know.
Makes an easier night for you if he isn't.
Yeah.
Even when he was fighting these guys, like the longer the fight went, it seemed like he faded. And like with you obviously have really good cardio. So like, how important do you think your cardio will be in this one? Just being able, if this fight does extend longer.
Yeah, I work on the cardio, and for the heavyweight is important, the cardio. And yeah, I just switch the gym, and for this fight I prepare with the different coaches. So we'll see what is gonna be the results.
Where'd you go train for this one?
At Drewsdale.
What made you decide to switch there from AKA?
No, because they're like the most like it's a lot of heavyweights right now over there, and this is the why I decided to go there. It's more fighting partners.
How important do you think that is then with training, where you can actually get looks against guys that are around Romanov's size? Then,
yeah, they have same guys. They're like the same size, so it's like this size is normal for the heavyweight.
Fighting at the Apex, like, are you disappointed with that? Like, were you hoping to fight in front of a crowd?
Yeah, I like to fight on the front of the crowd, but it is what it is. It's a business, you know. You have to take care of the business.
With this one, like, how do you see it playing out then?
On the fight,
Yeah.
He's like his first round is good. He have a like good first round, and I think this like be the most like important the first round. How it's gonna go.
How much does your confidence grow then if that gets out of the first round? Because I think if it gets out of the first, like, it's probably your fight to lose then.
Yeah, he don't. Yeah, he after the first round he give up. So yeah, I have like the first round. The first round is very important. How it's gonna go.
You're still looking for that first UFC finish. Like, do you put any pressure to get that here, or is it still just more important just getting your hand raised?
Yeah, I want to do the finish, and important is the hand raise too.
What do you think a win over Romanov does for you in the division?
Like in maybe I can fight at top 10 next fight.
And you fought a lot of these guys already. Like, you have a win over Ty. Like, you arguably beat Derek Lewis. Like, are those fights like one you'd want to get back? Like maybe that Lewis one just because you've lost to him, or is that fight like you don't really care if you ever get it back?
Yeah, no, after the Derek Lewis fight, yeah, I feel like I got robbed, and yeah, I stopped to work out for a little bit, you know, like a little bit. I was upset, but I just got back, and yeah, I fought like a lot of top 10s, so it's the business.
Do you really care who would be next, or is it just kind of whoever they give you?
No, I don't care. I just focus right now on the Romanov.
You get the win July 1st, like already your second fight of the year. Like, what is the goal then for you the rest of the year?
Yeah, maybe if I can do the third fight this year, is gonna be amazing.
And hopefully in front of a crowd.
Yeah, hopefully.
Just final thing too is we haven't talked since obviously John Jones became the heavyweight champ. Like, what did you make of his performance, and were you surprised he became the champ?
Yeah, I'm not surprised, but he did good job. Like he used the right timing and finished the fight quick. So this is why he's the champion. He did good job.
How do you think his fight against Stipe would play out if that is next?
I think Jones gonna win this fight.
Do you think Jones will stick around very long, or do you think he'll maybe only do the Stipe fight and then probably retire again?
Yeah, this is what he's saying. So he wanna do one more fight and then retire, enjoy his wife. So it's his side.
Well, Blagoy, I appreciate the time as always. Thank you so much for doing this again.
Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate it too.